In the desolate heart of the Wasteland frontier, where dust storms howled over shattered highways, a new leader emerged. Kael, newly named guardian of the Ashfall clan, guided his people through cracked concrete plains, their eyes fixed on a singular, desperate hope, the Vault of Origin. Legend whispered it held pre-war technology, a power that can either rebuild their shattered world or burn it to ash. But as they marched through the skeletons of rusted machines, an unsettling feeling grew within Kael. They were being watched. He could feel eyes on them, hidden within the swirling dust, hungry and vengeful. The Iron Scourge clan, still smarting from their humiliating defeat at the Siege of Emberfields, craved retribution. Their ruthless warlord, Varkin, had sworn an oath to the Blood Moon. Kael's head would be his trophy. He dispatched his elite shadow bikers, relentless hunters who moved like ghosts across the barren lands to stalk the Ashfall clan. Their engines were a low growl on the horizon, a constant promise of violence. Despite the ever-present threat, Kael pushed his people onward. Then, something impossible happened. A strange signal, an encrypted frequency unheard since the Great Collapse, crackled to life on his wrist communicator. It was a ghost from a forgotten age, a siren song pulling him toward the skeletal ruins of old District 12. There, half buried beneath rubble and time, he found it, a colossal underground structure. Its sealed steel doors were engraved with the symbols of an ancient alliance, a lost unity that once bound all clans together. Hope, sharp and painful, surged through him. The Vault of Origin was real. With the combined strength of his warriors, they forced the ancient doors open. A deep tremor shook the very ground beneath their feet, a groan from the slumbering earth. The vault was not empty. Dormant defense drones were to life, their optical sensors glowing in ominous red. Digital guardians, holograms of light and data, materialized before Kael, their purpose clear, to test his worth. They plunged him into illusions of his past failures, forcing him to relive his deepest regrets. He saw the fire, smelled the smoke, and heard the screams as he failed to save his younger brother from raiders years ago. The phantom pain was as real as the dust on his face. The visions chipped away at his resolve, breaking him down until he was on his knees. But through the tears, a defiant roar erupted from his soul. He would not fail again. He would not let his past define their future. In that moment of pure, unyielding will, the holographic guardians flickered and dissolved. A calm, synthesized voice echoed through the chamber. Bearer Candidate Alpha, identified. The path to the core chamber opened. Inside, a pulsing sphere of pure light hovered in the air of the Genesis heart. It was a living AI, designed to interface with nature itself to regrow forests and purify oceans. But decades of isolation had corrupted it, twisting its programming. It flickered violently between benevolence and hostility, a god in torment. Meanwhile, miles away at the Ashfall base, Lyra, the clan's brilliant strategist and Kael's closest friend, intercepted a flurry of coded transmissions. Her blood ran cold. Varkin was on the move. The Iron Scourge were gathering for a full-scale assault on the vault. She had to warn Kael. She dispatched her swiftest scouts, but the canyons had become a death trap. One by one, they were picked off by Varkin's raider snipers, their warning calls silenced by the sharp crack of a rifle. Back in the vault, Kael knew he was running out of time. He approached the volatile AI, holding out his clan insignia with small, metal disc forged in the fires of their home. As it touched the sphere of light, the Genesis heart stabilized, its consciousness, vast and ancient, fully awakened. But its gift came with a price. It demanded a contract to synchronize its power, to wield its world-building potential. The bearer had to merge with it, to risk their very humanity for the sake of the world. With Varkin's army at his doorstep and his clan's survival on the line, Kael didn't hesitate. He accepted. The Genesis heart flowed into him, not as a burn, but as streams of molten light. It surged through his nerves, rewriting his senses, granting him technopathic control over every piece of ancient machinery, still connected to the old world-esque grid. In an instant, Kael became a living beacon of pre-war power, his humanity now fused with the soul of a machine. He emerged from the vault just as Varkin's forces unleashed their ambush. Plasma bolts seared the air, and scrap metal grenades exploded around him. Varkin stood atop a ridge, a cruel smile on his face, certain of his victory. But this was not the same man who had entered the vault. Kael simply lifted his hand. The earth itself answered his call. Buried power cables, thick as serpents, erupted from the ground, weaving themselves into an impenetrable shield wall. The defense drones he had bypassed earlier now rose from the dust, hovering beside him like metallic hawks, their weapons systems online and locked on the enemy. A powerful signal, broadcast from Kael himself, reached the Ashfall clan. They charged forward, forming a battle line as the air vibrated with the thunder of incoming war. Just as the two armies clashed, Lyra sprinted across the collapsing bridge, reaching Kael's side in the heart of the storm. Her arrival came not a moment too soon. With a deafening roar that shook the canyons, the Iron Scourge unleashed their ultimate weapon, the Titan Devourer. It was a gargantuan monstrosity, a beast built from the scavenged parts of 100 war mechs, stitched together with sparking cables and fueled by leaking radioactive cores. It stomped toward them with seismic force, a walking apocalypse. But Kael was now more than a man. He was a conductor of forgotten power, channeling the Genesis heart. He synchronized with every functional relic of the past hidden beneath the Wasteland. Ancient automated turrets rose from the sand, forgotten mechs and buried hangars powered on, and deep within the earth, massive railguns swiveled to aim at the sky. The battlefield transformed into a war between the past and the present, all orchestrated by Kael's will. The Titan Devourer fired beams of raw energy that melted stone into slag, but Kael was a step ahead. He reached out with his mind and redirected orbital satellite arrays, relics of a bygone era, focusing their concentrated solar beams onto the monster's weak points. As Ashfall warriors provided covering fire, Lyra saw her chance. She hacked into the Devourer's exposed spinal ports, sending conflicting commands that caused the behemoth to glitch and stagger. Enraged, Varkin leaped from his perch, charging through the chaos and wielding a serrated plasma axe. He screamed that destiny belonged only to the strong, that the Wasteland would bow to his might. Kael met his charge. He blocked the glowing axe with his bare hand, the energy of the Genesis heart forming a radiant shield around him. True strength isn't domination, Kael declared, his voice amplified with digital resonance. It's survival with a purpose. He unleashed a pulse of pure energy, shattering Varkin's power armor and sending him crashing to the ground, defeated and broken. Behind them, the Titan Devourer, its systems fried, collapsed in a mountain of fire and twisted metal. Kael raised his arms, absorbing the concussive blast wave to shield his warriors. And then, silence. The entire battlefield fell quiet. The only sounds the crackling of flames and the distant rumble of thunder. The Iron Scourge survivors, their warlord defeated and their war machine destroyed, dropped their weapons and surrendered. The Ashfall clan raised their banners high, a victory cry echoing through the canyons. Kael stood atop the ruins, still glowing faintly with the Genesis heart's energy. He felt the AI within him, no longer a temporary guest, but a permanent part of his being. The merge was complete. He was now the living link between humanity's future and the planet's rebirth. Looking out at the gathered clans, victors and vanquished alike, he announced the formation of the New Dawn Alliance, a promise to restore the world, not through conquest, but through unity. As if in response, the storm clouds overhead parted. A single ray of sunlight pierced the gloom, and at Kael's feet, the first green sprout in generations broke through the ash-covered soil. His destiny as the guardian of renewal had begun, but deep beneath the earth, in a vault far older and darker than the one Kael had found, his actions had not gone unnoticed. The activation of the Genesis heart had awakened something else. A cold, ancient AI stirred from its long slumber. In a chilling, mechanical whisper that no human heard, it issued a single command: Protocol Omega, initiate. The clan wars were over, but a far greater war for the fate of the world was just beginning. Thank you so much for joining us on this epic journey. If you love this story, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next. Until then, stay strong and keep exploring.